Hey everybody, this is Tracy here for another edition of A View from Tracy's Point, and we are here to recap Being Mary Jane Season 4, Episode 15, which was titled Feeling Hashtag. So Mary Jane is trying to play Justin to see if he will spring for a weekend trip that's going to cost him over $30,000. I'm like, girl, please, y'all not the Obamas. And if you're that concerned about the man's money, just ask the man about the money. Just say you heard that word on the streets were that you are worth $1 million. But, she wants to play games and she wants to sliver around and try and get the information. So we'll play along with you, Mary Jane. So Justin seems to really be into Mary Jane. Surprisingly, maybe he's not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs after all. And we know that she's feeling him even more now that she saw that bank statement. So Mary Jane, let us find out that you're a gold digger, girl. So Mary Jane has diarrhea of the mouth, and she is telling Cara and anybody else that'll listen that Justin is worth $30 million. So remember, last week not last week, week before last, because I am so late with this video. But in my last recap, I pointed out that she told the hairstylist guy, about the statement. So now she's telling Cara, and then later on in the show, she tells Aaliyah. I don't know why, but anyway, you just can't let people in your business like that, Mary Jane. But wait, Justin didn't even tell you this is information that you got when you were snooping around, which makes it even worse that you're going around telling people about it. And then the fool took a screenshot of the statement, so she's showing that to Cara, and then Cara is like, I can't believe that you did this. Mary Jane talking about, girl, wouldn't it be awesome if we both end up with millionaires? And then Cara responds, yes, but it's winning that we would be doing if we both ended up with millionaires. So Mary Jane learns that her housewarming photo shoot was a flop and that Danny is getting all the attention, as we pretty much knew was going to happen when Mary Jane was cut out of all the photos. So Cara gets Mary Jane the lead on a breaking news story at a predominantly black high school that is facing the possibility of being closed to make room for a charter school. So Justin's going to be joining her at the scene, but this means that Danny will be filling the anchor chair. So the two go out for drinks, and Mary Jane is all in her feelings, because she doesn't want Danny sitting in her chair, and she's afraid that, Danny's going to get all this coverage, and it might cost her her job. So Mary Jane, she gets over it, and Cara convinces her, everything's going to be okay. So Mary Jane is at the rally that's taking place for the school when Justin shows up. And so Justin is trying, to keep it all professional and everything, but Mary Jane go running up to him like she about to slob the man down in the middle of the street, but Justin kind of keeps his distance. So things turn hectic when Danny gets all up in the mix of everything, because she's in the studio and she's interviewing one of the school board members, a guy named Russo. And during the conversation, she's ignoring Cara, what Cara is telling her, the questions that she should be asking and how to direct the conversation. Danny goes all off in left field, and the man ends up revealing that they are going to close the school, that the decision has already been made. So when the word gets back to Mary Jane and it's announced, because I think it was somebody saw it on their tablet or their phone, and so then things get really bad, and a lot of pushing and shoving and going on, and people are getting arrested. So then Justin, he's realizing what's going on, and he's trying to get through the police to get to Mary Jane, and he says, my girlfriend's over there, and he has the mouthpiece on. So Cara hears him saying that, and so now her feelings about Justin are really changing because she realizes that he really does care about Mary Jane and has Mary Jane's best interest at heart. So while Justin is struggling with the police, Mary Jane is getting bounced around in the melee that's going on, and so she's screaming, Justin, Justin, Justin. So of course, this is going out to their 7 million viewers, and people are trying to figure, like, who the hell is Justin that she's calling for? So Justin breaks past the police officers, and he runs up into the crowd and saves Mary Jane and pulls her out and get her across the street, and make sure that she's okay. But back at the studio, Cara is about to tear Danny a new one. I'm thinking, like, Danny done got cussed out by Mary Jane in front of everybody, and now she's about to get cussed out by Cara. But Cara was basically letting her know that you have to do what the producers say, and she's telling her, like, you done lost your mind. What is wrong with you? And so Danny was like, she was trying to appease her audience, and that she was doing good, and she's gonna direct her own story. So then Cara lets her know, well, in order for you to be in front of your viewing audience, we have to actually put you back in that chair. So Danny done made a real bad enemy by crossing Cara, because Cara ain't gonna never let her get back in that chair. So once everything calms down and Justin and Mary Jane get back to the station, we find out that the hashtag "Who is Justin" is now trending, and people want to know who he is and why was Mary Jane calling out for him. So that's right up Mary Jane's alley, but we don't know how Justin is going to feel about this. So Mary Jane and Aaliyah are meeting when Aaliyah shows Mary Jane a video that Danny made on some underground app that she has going on, because part of her contract was that she had to give up her, I think, was she like a YouTube sensation or whatever platform she was using to get her message out? She could no longer use any of those social media platforms. So she done found some app where she can get on there. So she's going on and on about how they're treating her at the station, and they don't, they're trying to control what she says, and they're being mean to her. They're being mean girls over there at Good Morning USA. So Aaliyah thinks that in order to beat Danny at the PR game, that Mary Jane needs to get Justin to go public with their relationship, and then they'll take the focus off of Danny, and people will be all, into Mary Jane's life. So for some reason, as with the hairstylist and with Cara, Mary Jane decides to tell Aaliyah about Justin being a millionaire, and so she's trying to spin it as, well, before I go public with Justin and, try to do this PR move, I need to make sure he doesn't have any skeletons in his closet. So, girl, can you check him out and see where this money is coming from, and is he legit? And when Mary Jane was talking to Cara earlier in the show, Cara had said something about, well, maybe the money was from his parents, which is what I was thinking. But Mary Jane goes, oh, well, his dad was just a car salesman. And I'm sitting there like, Mary Jane, how do you know he was just a car salesman? Maybe he owned the car lot. Like, maybe he had multiple dealerships, like there's a family here in St. Pete, Crown. Crown has Nissan, BMW, Jaguar, Hyundai, Mercedes. So they own like 5 or 6 dealerships, like right in the same area. So maybe Justin's dad made a whole bunch of money selling those cars, but we'll find out because Miss Aaliyah is on the clock right now. So Aaliyah asked if Justin was behind on his taxes. So Mary Jane was like, no, I don't think that's it, but we want to find out anyway, make sure, he don't get me caught up in those scandals. So I'm just like, messy, messy, messy Mary Jane. So later that night, Mary Jane sachets into the bedroom, and with the sexy red negligee on, and Justin was in the bed about to fall asleep, because remember, he done been in Vancouver. He left Vancouver to fly into New York to help her with that story, and then all the chaos that was going on. He just wants his woman to get in the bed, get him some nookie so he can turn on over and go to sleep. But Mary Jane comes in the room and picks up her cell phone. So he's like, no, put that phone down. Don't worry about Twitter and all this stuff. and that hashtag, come on and get into bed. But then Mary Jane talking about, oh, I was looking for some music, and I cannot. If you guys know the name of that song, I love that song, but I am like drawing a blank as to who sing the song and what the name of that song was when Mary Jane did get into bed with Justin. But before they could get busy, she does let him know that they had 4,000 new likes on the hashtag that was going out. I'm like, why are they making Mary Jane be so childish and immature this season? Y'all stop doing our girl like that. Because I swear, Justin seems to be really into Mary Jane, but she's like missing out on the whole experience of a man falling in love with you and wanting to be with you all the time, because she's just all over the place. So earlier, Mary Jane asked Cara to track down one of the people, I think it was the girl that she was talking to when everything broke out at the protest. But the person, whoever it was, they weren't available, or they didn't want to talk to Mary Jane because they thought she had them stabbed them in the back. But instead, the Russo guy decides to come back on the show. I guess he agreed to come back because he thought he was going to be sitting down with Danny. But the devil is a liar, because Danny would not be back in that chair. So Mary Jane is the one that is going to be interviewing him, and then Cara and Justin are going to co-produce the show. So MJ gets in that behind real quick and reveals that Russo is actually, before he got on the school board, he was an investor in the charter school company. And so it was like a total conflict of interest. So Mary Jane does what she does best. She broke him down on that interview. So I know that guy was like, really? Is this really happening to me right now? But he shouldn't have been so arrogant and agreed to come back on that show. So following her interview, Justin and Mary Jane, they're leaving to go to lunch, and Aaliyah obviously is on her job, and because there was a whole bunch of paparazzi waiting at the door, clicking and taking pictures and everything. And so obviously she called and told them that Justin was a producer at the show. So, all right, Miss Aaliyah, I need you on my team, girl. So they get to talking, Justin pulls her away from the door. He's basically telling her that, he wants to create the news or deliver the news. He doesn't want to be the news. And so he's trying to tell, Mary Jane, he doesn't want to be, have his whole private life out there for the world, to critique. But she tries to spin it as if, him not wanting to go public, with their relationship is a slight on her. And then, Justin gets to thinking about it and thinking like, how can I compromise to make her happy, like a real man does. So at the end of the day, Justin decides to take one for the team if it will get them back on point, back on target, with the story about the school. And the two of them end up walking out, hugged up together, to give the paparazzi the story. But I just got a feeling that this is going to backfire on Miss Mary Jane. And I'm like, Mama Patterson, you had it going on. So no wonder she working out and eating healthy and cooking all these old crazy dishes for her family. So she knew her boo was coming to town. And if Papa Patterson had any sense, he would know too. But Mama Patterson, you better slow your roll, because ain't nobody got anything on the man that you got. because that brother is still fine. So Frank talking about, he's in town to get his sister into an assisted living facility, and I'm thinking, you two ain't slick. Y'all was trying to have like a rendezvous, and they ain't too old. I'm thinking like, Suge, Avery, and Shaft got to be in their 60s, almost 70s, and still trying to sneak around and do whatever people that age do. I'm thinking it must be the same thing that people in their 20s do, but I just don't want to imagine it. So now what I can't understand is why Frank is insisting on hanging out with Papa Patterson. So I guess the two of them were really good friends back in the day until he found out that the man was sleeping with his wife. So can you restore a friendship when you slept with the man's wife? Like, does that really happen? And which one of these kids is going to turn out to be Frank's? I don't understand why they bringing this tension into the show, but I guess we'll keep watching and find out. So while Mary Jane was caught in the protest, Mama Helen was watching the news. And so after Justin rescued MJ and she was able to recoup, she went back on the air, to let the viewers know that everything was okay and that everybody on the remote team was safe and back in the van. So Mama Patterson, she was so relieved that her baby girl was okay. And then she got to thinking and she was like, oh, who is Justin? And then next thing, I'm thinking like, Niecy, you in trouble, girl. So sure enough, when Niecy came home, Mama Helen was waiting on her. And she is like, I know a lie when I hear one. And I done raised some children. So I know when y'all ain't being truthful. Now, girl, you tell me who Justin is. Because I sent you to New York to get this information. And you came back and said you ain't know nothing. That girl's trying to spill the beans. So while she was going on and on and on and on, talking about how Mary Jane is so emotional and Lee was a good man and all this stuff. Niecy pulled out the picture on her phone and showed her who Justin was, and Mama Helen was like, oh, okay. I was just like, messy. That's why your daughter messy, Miss Helen, because you messy. So Miss Helen was in the kitchen later on, and she was cooking dinner, sliding all around, singing, as she prepared the meal for her and her two men in her life. And so Papa Patterson comes in and bursts her bubble real quick, letting her know that he canceled the outing with Frank. I think they were supposed to go to a car show or something. So Mama Helen, must think her man is blind, dumb, crippled, and crazy that he couldn't see the change in her once she found out that man was coming to town. And he probably put two and two together and realized that she already knew the man was coming to town, so they done blindsided him. But he shut that down like a real G dude. So, Mama Ellen, you gonna have to come better than that the next time. So she calls Mary Jane, to talk to her about Justin. And so, MJ says that the breakup with Lee and choosing Justin, was complicated. But it's obvious that Mary Jane is her mother's child and needs some fire in her life. And let me find out that Mama Helen really wanted Frank over Papa Patterson. that was who she really wanted to be with, and now she's regretting her decision not to be with him. So Mama Helen, later on in the show, she goes marching over to Frank's hotel, to talk to him and tell him off. And she said that she needs an apology. And he's like, apologize to you for what? And I'm thinking like, how old is Patrick? Because they did say that it was 44 years ago when the two of them had their little fling. And I know MJ is 40. So let me find out that Patrick is really Frank's son, and then that would explain why Patrick is not named after his father, because remember, Papa Patterson name is Paul and PJ is actually named after him. So but Frank told Mama Helen that she know what the deal is and why he didn't forewarn her that he was coming. So maybe she didn't know he was coming. Maybe she is innocent in all of that. So I apologize, Mama Helen. So we move over to Amika. So Amika, she's having a hard time. Her lights have been turned off. And so Niecy comes over, to drop her kids off because they're doing the whole baby sharing thing. And I'm happy Niecy, helped her out. But she was acting a little judgmental, like she's better than Amika. But y'all both in the struggle, so you need to humble yourself a little bit, Niecy. So Amika was talking about, she had to quit her job because the therapist said she needs to spend more time with her son, who has some kind of developmental issues. But I'm thinking Niecy's son, he acts a little mentally delayed also. So maybe Dante has like something in his genes and he probably shouldn't be out here procreating anymore. So Niecy devises a plan to help Amika make some money in a work from home business. And it came from one of the clients came into the shop and she was late, and she tells Niecy that she was pulled over by the police for not having one of her children in a car seat. So Niecy gets this idea and she brings her kid's old car seat over to Amika. She asks Amika, well, where are your older car seats? So Amika said she still had it. And so then Niecy said, well, what we're going to do is we're going to charge people $30 per ride to use these car seats. Now, it wasn't making a bit of sense to me, and it seemed kind of dumb that somebody would be paying you $30 every time they need to use a car seat. And then I couldn't understand, like, do Amika have to go pick the people up and take them where they need to go, or are they going to come get the car seats from her? Like, I didn't understand how that whole plan worked out, so I need a little more details on that, Niecy. But then I got to thinking about the whole concept of the idea, and people, they pay all these astronomical amounts of money to rent furniture. Now we got this whole thing where people are renting designer handbags, which is beyond stupid to me. And then I heard there was a website where you can rent clothes, and then after you wear them a couple of times, you send them back and pick out some other outfits. Like, this is stuff that keeps poor people poor. Like, I am not renting a pocketbook. I ain't renting nobody's clothes. And I'm surely not going to spend $30 to rent a car seat when I probably could go to the thrift store and buy a car seat for like $100. But the point, I guess, Niecy was trying to make, or the writers was trying to make, is that if you don't have the money to buy something right then and there, then you will spend money to rent it. And that's how people get caught up in this vicious cycle of poverty. But at some point, you got to make some sacrifices. But we're going to roll with this. And, it was ingenious of Niecy to come up with the idea. And then it must be work because they tweeted it out on social media. And the next time Niecy came to Amika's house, she had her calendar full of people that needed the ride with the car seat. So once again, I still don't understand how the whole process is going to work. So I need to know. I need to know, because maybe I need to go pick up some car seats and start renting them out to people. And then last, we had Cara, and she was waiting on a package to come. So the package finally showed up, and it was actually a framed picture. What I think was, when I saw the show the first time, I thought it was her kids and their dad, but then when I rewatched it, I realized that it was a picture of her dad and her mom and of Cara when she was a little girl, and they were like in the kitchen or something, cooking dinner or getting ready to eat. So she was feeling a little sentimental in that part of the show. And did we know that Cara's dad lived in New York? Because I don't even remember her mentioning her dad until the whole scene, and I guess that's what they used to bring her and Mary Jane back together. But that's it for me, guys. Leave your comments below, rate the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and until the next time, I shall talk to you guys later. Bye bye.